extra spice to this derby. The Mariners clinging to a spot just inside the top 6. Victory today could push them as high as 3rd, while for the Jets, it's getting close to desperation time as they sit 8 points adrift of the finals equation. They must close that gap, and quickly. So much to play for in the F3 derby this afternoon, including that piece of the guardrail from the F3. One of the special elements to this matchup. And you can see a guard of honour there. Former Matildas players connected with both the Mariners and Newcastle. And there is a reshuffle for the Mariners after that narrow win against Wellington last week. Jess Seaman makes her first start for the Central Coast in 15 years. December 5, 2009, the last time she was part of the starting 11. So Taylor Ray pushes into midfield. Jade Pennick is shuffled up the pitch to join the match winner from last week, the 16-year-old Tiana Fuller. Annalise Rasmussen is the player that misses out. She drops to the bench. Well, what a season it's been for Tiana Fuller, 16 years of age. She became the Mariners' youngest goal scorer in this competition way back in November when she scored on starting debut against the side from Canberra. She scored in her first 2 matches and then scored her 3rd of the season last week against the Knicks. And what a strike it was from outside the box. For Newcastle, well, a 1/3 of their starting side from last week have been shifted for this crucial derby. Sheridan Gallagher is out with suspension. Tash Pryor misses due to concussion, and Lauren Allen to a knee injury. Lara Gooch felt back tightness last week at halftime, so she has dropped to the bench. So in come the brigade of teenagers: 16-year-old Alexis Collins, 18-year-olds India Breyer and Josie Allen, while Josie Wilson is also back in the 11. Well, could it be a tale of the 2 16-year-olds today? Fuller on one side, Alexis Collins for the Newcastle Jets. Newcastle without 3 of their leading goal scorers, with Gallagher, who's scored 4, Devon Jackson, 3 goals this season. Lauren Allen also out. She's scored twice. Maybe it is Alexis Collins, the local junior who came up through Mayfield United into the emerging Jets. And what an opportunity for the Jets scholarship player. Well, Emily Husband is having another terrific season at the helm of the Mariners. She led them to within a win of the grand final on the Mariners' return to the A-League Women's last season. Currently, they're sitting nicely inside the 6th, the best defence in this competition, despite being without 2 crucial defenders in Ash Irwin and Taryn King, both out with knee injuries. Taryn King on the return, Irwin gone for this season. Beck Mackey in charge of the derby. She was in charge of the most recent derby back in January, where Ergamal and Paige Hayward scored in the Mariners' 2-0 victory in Newcastle. A result which disappointed Ryan Campbell. He is feeling, though, that Newcastle are not far away at the moment. They have not won since December 14, that incredible comeback against Sydney, despite being down a player. Is this the time to turn their season around? So the 6th F3 derby underway in the A-League Women's. The Jets looking for that first win since December 14. The Mariners hunting back-to-back wins for the first time this season. And it's a former Newcastle Jet in Annabelle Martin who hits the floor early on. Massive test for a young Newcastle side, missing some of their key players in Lauren Allen, Sheridan Gallagher and Devon Jackson, who have been excellent for them this season. Incredible to think back to that most recent win for the Jets back in December against Sydney FC, where they lost Daniel Krasaniak after 12 minutes, went down 1-0 and then scored twice in the dying stages to claim a 2-1 victory. And many thought that they'd go on with it from there. Instead, it's been a real rough spot as Jade Pennock is flagged for offside. Mariners, by contrast, well, they've been excellent of late. They are undefeated in their last three. As you just see, nice high line from Newcastle. And Pennock just caught in an offside position. So Mariners just one loss in their last 6. And that was against Adelaide United in their first match of the new year. Their last 3 wins over Western Sydney, a draw with Sydney FC. And then that win over Wellington Phoenix last week. Dundas knocking it into some space for Bauman. Wilson. And a great tackle by Quilligan. Really stopped Josie Allen in her tracks. Some space here for the Mariners. Pennock making a good run inside the middle. Krasaniak has spilled the cross. Still a chance here for none. Now Pennock. And the deflection goes wide. Well, there's some nervy moments for Newcastle. They don't need reminding about some of the issues they've had in the goalkeeping department as we look at that wonderful tackle from Quilligan that sparked this attack for the Mariners, and then Krasaniak with the spill of the cross, and it almost ended in disaster for Newcastle. Had a great game last week against Canberra United, one of her best for Newcastle. But she'll have to shake that little moment off as Martin to the back post. Galich is up. And Newcastle able to clear it away. He's got a couple of goals, Bianca Galich, this season. Very close to a third. The Jets looking to settle here after a bit of a frantic couple of moments. Neat link up between Emma Dundas and India Breyer. Davis wanted Wilson to make that forward run down the right. Copus Brown flips it around the corner. And Jess Seaman finds the sideline. The 34-year-old returning to the Central Coast for the first time in 15 years. Made her first appearance for the Mariners in 15 years last week, coming off the bench late to sandbag the operation against the Knicks. And she starts today, allowing Taylor Ray to push back into midfield, but she's been dispossessed here by Hoban. Newcastle with a throw. Josie Allen's going to leave that for Josie Wilson to take. Came on last week, did Wilson, after that concussion scare for Tash Pryor. Ryan Campbell saying this week that she's expected back for the home clash with Melbourne City next week, which is crucial for Newcastle. getting the Matildas defender back in such an important game against the ladder leaders. But it's Claudia Chico playing in the middle of that back three this afternoon. Hoban is played in on goal, and that is an excellent save from Sarah Langman. Because Hoban would have had designs on putting Newcastle in front in the derby. What an opportunity that was for the Jets. And what an entertaining start to this one after just 6.5 minutes. Hoban's only other goal in this competition was in the finals last year, back in April, in that 4-2 extra time win against Western United. Forcing something special out of Langman, but that's why Sarah Langman is one of the most experienced goalkeepers in this competition, because she's been excellent for such a long period of time. 94th National League appearance today. From time with the Reds, Western Sydney, Perth, and now the Central Coast. Bauman. Picked off by Rowe. Rolls it out in front of Galich. Pennock. What a turn from Pennock. Krasaniak with the save, but the follow-up is there. And Brooke Nunn grabs her second of the season and runs across to silence the Jets fans. Well, there was bound to be a goal in this one so early on, so free-flowing, and it goes the way of the Central Coast Mariners. The former WSL winner with Arsenal. Absolutely loving life at the start of this derby. And from such a great chance for Newcastle at one end, Nunn and the Mariners punish them at the other. And the cannon is firing here at Industry Group Stadium in Gosford. And Newcastle look to reply immediately. Oh, Breyer! What a chance, and an incredible save once again from Langman. Twice now, in a matter of moments, Sarah Langman has saved the Mariners. And India Breyer, her first goal in the Ninja A-League, was sitting there for her. And while she'll be disappointed she didn't hit the corner, well, you have to credit the reflexes of Langman. Well, strap yourselves in here. This is going to be an enthralling contest if the first 10 are anything to go by. Galich, now Taylor Ray. Important toe in from Wilson. Breyer. Beaten a couple, India Breyer, and that is a dangerous ball. Run away by the Mariners, and it's Nunn's clearance, which rolls nicely in front of Tiana Fuller. Well, can the players be going at this kind of transitional rate throughout the 90? It is helter-skelter. Fuller now, off the head of Chico. Again with Fuller. Pennock. And Quilligan. Not far away. Tess Quilligan from a second in her Ninja A-League career. here's that chance again. And it was beautiful build-up once again. Gee, she's in some good form. Josie Allen grabbed that assist last week. One of the great assists to set up Sheridan Gallagher's equaliser against Canberra. Almost had assists in back-to-back matches. Probably should have. Panic. Another good ball for Galich. The overlap is coming, provided by Rowe. First time delivery. Knocked away by Cass Davis. The goal scorer. Only other goal this season, Brooke Nunn back in January against Western Sydney Wanderers. The start of this Mariners three-match unbeaten run. 3-1 they beat Western Sydney on January 12. Sarah Rowe. And that pass straight to Davis. Bauman just slipped that pass a little too far in front of Breyer. The frustration on the face of the Swiss international. And now the speed of Nunn, who's in behind again. Could she get a double here? Nunn just didn't get the purchase on the strike at goal. But another warning sign there for the Newcastle defence, which is the worst in the competition. They're conceding an average of more than 2 goals a game. They've already conceded 1, and that came inside the first 10 minutes. The problem for them now is coming up against the best defence in the league. Comfortable grab for Brezaniak. Davis and Collins. That's neat work by Hoban. Cuts it back to Copus Brown. Now Davis off the crossbar, the follow-up somehow wide, and the flag is up to save Sophie Hoban, because she was wondering for a moment how she didn't get it on target. But have a look at this from Cass Davis. Well, for a number of years she couldn't score. Well, she's got a couple this year. Almost had a third. Her career tally doubled in a season almost. She's got 5 for the career. 2 this season, almost had 3. Now it's a foot race between Chico and Pennock. Oh, heavy touch, almost invited Brooke Nunn to pinch it and cause more havoc for the Jets backline, but Chico did enough. Hoban and Copus Brown, well smothered by Annabelle Martin. Was at Newcastle in the 1920 season. Missed the following year with an ACL and then returned with the Wellington Phoenix before ending up with her former coach at Sydney Uni, Em Husband, at the Mariners last season. Newcastle dominant in possession, but it's the Mariners who lead where it matters. Somehow Nunn has slipped that ball through to Pennock, and she's going to retrieve it again. So the word from Brian Campbell is settle for his Newcastle side. We can certainly see their style of play. There is absolutely no doubt about that, and that's really been the talk from coaching staff this week. Is they're happy with the way the team is playing. It's just trying to turn it into results. They got on a roll at the back end of last season. Just haven't been able to do so this campaign. Quilligan through to Pennock. Another chance flashes wide for the Mariners. You just cannot turn away from this match. And you cannot see this ending 1-0. There is going to be at least one, probably more, goals in this match as a slaloming run from Copus Brown. Hoban, direct pass, trying to slip it between the Mariners centre-back pairing. Bauman, Copus Brown. Hoban just slipped it in front of Allen, but she was quick enough, the teenager, to track it down, drives it in. And it was a scuffed clearance from Seaman, but allows the Mariners a chance to reset defensively from the set piece. So the in-swinger is coming back, but not with any kind of threat, because that's straight over the byline from Josie Allen. 2 goals in what's her second season in the A-League Women's. Goals against Perth in November and then against Adelaide United in January in that crazy 3-all draw where they came back from 3-1 late. The Jets, Alexis Collins, the 16-year-old, putting severe pressure there on Jess Nash. And Sarah Langman with some words of advice. Rowe. That cross may cause some problems in the end for Newcastle. Nunn, what a ball. Heavy touch. And Krasaniak has spilled it again. Well, she's had some nervy moments, the Jets goalkeeper, once again. Again, the passing from the Mariners, that from Galich to find Nunn. And we know Newcastle playing a back three, so there is more space than you traditionally get with a back four, but the Mariners are able to exploit it. And they have done so for the 1-0 lead, but it's not without Newcastle creating chances of their own. Rowe speared that one up the line, but no one chasing. Down a Mariners shirt, and the Jets happy to watch that harmlessly run up. Look at that, Galich with the wall pass, and Nunn just to the key moment. She just looked to have a little glance up at what Krasaniak was doing, and just took a heavy touch in that moment. Her chance at a first brace in her Ninja A-League career had passed her by. Hoban uses Josie Allen, driving in on that left. Allen, it was a rasping strike. Looked to have a bit of shape on it as well. It was well blocked by Annabelle Martin, who's continuing the chase. It just keeps running the Mariners left back, who is going to be a little gassed after that lung-busting run down the left. Wilson finding Allen and Hoban now versus Taylor Ray. And Annabelle Martin uses all her experience there just to shield the ball over the line. And both sides get a chance just to have a breather, because the first half of the first 45 minutes has flown by. Brooke Nunn, the goal scorer inside the opening 10 for the Mariners, her second of the season for the former Arsenal product. Won a couple of WSL titles in the last decade with the Gunners. And here she is now, chipping it over the top, and just a little too heavy for Tiana Fuller. Davis driving into space again, using that avenue down the right. She's a beacon at the moment. Josie Allen curling. Copus Brown was unmarked. Gee, that was beautiful football from Newcastle. And as has been the case throughout this season, they just cannot find someone to finish it all off. Have a look at this. Copus Brown just ghosting in. No one around her. Probably had time to take a touch. And we know of her quality. She scored some bangers in the Ninja A-League down the years. Couldn't find it on the first time. Will the Mariners punish Newcastle again here? Martin and Nunn couldn't control it in a tight area against the byline. Big losses this season for the Jets. Serena Bolden, Melina Ayres. There was always going to be a question who was going to fill those shoes. Gallagher has scored 4 times this season, out with suspension after the red card last week. Devon Jackson still missing with a facial fracture, so she's probably got at least another month on the sidelines. And then Lauren Allen out with a knee injury today, so 3 of their key top scorers. But they are certainly testing out Em Husband's side, who have the best defence in the Ninja A-League this season. Just 12 conceded in 13 games, less than a goal a game conceded. That is top draw stuff, as Pennock again has been caught by the offside trap of Newcastle. Turn again, Ryan Campbell screaming out the Jets coach, just asking Libby Cobus-Brown there to maintain possession instead of trying to flick it on. Wants his team to play with a little more composure at the moment. Hoban takes on Quilligan. And Allen unable, I should say, to run it down. Gee, she's been busy in this match so far. The 18-year-old played her junior football at Cahiba in Newcastle. Dundas. Oh, Beck Mackey, the referee, almost took a tumble there in the middle of the field. Not quite sure whether it was the sniper or what happened. There doesn't seem to be a blade of grass out of place at Industry Group Stadium. Bauman and Collins looking to link with Breyer, but Seaman was across to snuff out any kind of danger presented. And the Mariners on the quick transition. Can't make it stick on this occasion. Bauman cutting off the pass to Pennock. Chico goes over the top using Collins. Nice hold-up play there from the 16-year-old. Breyer back into a dangerous area. Allen goes down in the box. It was an awkward one there with Annabelle Martin. Could come back with interest here. Hoban takes on Quilligan. Martin's header away. Only as far as Bauman. But to ride the challenge, Cobus-Brown. Mariners with plenty of numbers back inside the box now. Hoban trying to sneak away into the box. She's done so. Now Allen. Oh, what a strike! Gee, she's playing some wonderful football at the moment. Josie Allen, the 18-year-old. She's been one of the best players on the pitch to start this match. And there is no one more deserving of a goal than her. You just have to credit the work there of Hoban to stay alive and stay alive. And Allen was able to drop it over the head of Langman. And Newcastle finally get reward for all the chances they've created. And you would probably say this is a fair reflection because both sides have had their opportunities. Newcastle now take theirs, and it's one apiece in what has been an enthralling F3 derby. Some pressure again. Alexis Collins. Well, there was certainly a tug from Seaman. She's got away with that, the experienced centre-back. But Newcastle again. Josie Allen causing all kinds of problems for the Mariners at the moment. I certainly know the Jets coaching staff, they've been most impressed by Josie Allen's work. Another chance here. The 16-year-old Collins, so close to her first Ninja A-League goal. Running out of words to describe this match because the chances continue to pile up. Heavy touch there, but Collins almost made it work for her. Filling the big shoes of Sheridan Gallagher, the leading goal scorer this season. She has done well. Alexis Collins, Hoban, slipping it in. That was audacious from Copus Brown, looking for the sneaky backheel finish. As I mentioned before, she scored some cracking goals, some iconic goals from a Newcastle perspective in the Ninja A-League. Krasaniak, oh, she's got to be careful. It's another disaster from the Newcastle Jets goalkeeper. Not for the first time this season. They have been left red-faced by a mistake at the back, and the Mariners have punished them. And it's Bianca Galich who accepted an absolute gift. Her third of the season. She only scored 2 in this competition coming into this campaign in 46 previous matches. She's got 3 now in 14 in season 17 of the A-League Women's, and Krasaniak's apologising. But it's the Mariners who are back in front 2-1 after the Jets did all that hard work to get themselves back level. Well, Ryan Campbell, he'll be wondering what he's got to do to catch a break this season, especially in the goalkeeping department. We've seen it. Yeah, it's been that colour. Red a couple of times for Krasaniak, and well, the Jets left red-faced again. She's still got an important role to play. I said last week against Canberra, one of her best performances, but has really found it difficult today. Can Newcastle find another equaliser? Alexis Collins taking on Nash, and just left that pass a little short. And then amplified the soft touch with a grab of Jess Nash, and gives away the free kick. Oh, here we go. A little bit of fire in the derby. And this is frustration you sense from a Newcastle perspective because of what's happened. Hang on a second, what's going on now? You can hear Ryan Campbell thinks that the free kick should be going Newcastle's way. Referee Beck Mackey thinks differently. And here it is, Dundas in a scrap there. Oh. And a knee into the stomach. That wouldn't have tickled for Emma Dundas, and that's what she was a bit annoyed about. And then Copus Brown comes in. See that tape on the right hamstring of Galich. So after all that, free kick here. No, they're going to have to take it again. Mackey happy now. Taylor Ray just double checking. And short to Nash, who's going to take on Breyer. Rowe. Davis. And Dundas. Chico finding Copus Brown. Bauman using the acres of space in front of her to link with Breyer. Sending Rowe left and right. Breyer with a neat delivery. Spills to Copus Brown. And Hoban. Up she clips. Breyer in front. Great position. Hits the post. Copus Brown's header is comfortable for Langman, and Breyer with another chance. Her first opportunity was saved by Langman, and this time she's hit the crossbar. So close to her first Ninja A-League goal. India Breyer restored to the starting side this afternoon. With Lara Gooch bench for Newcastle with that back tightness picked up in the first half last week. Free kick again here going Newcastle's way. This thing's boiling over a little bit here for the Jets. Hoban having a few words to say to Beck Mackey. But you just sense, and if you've missed it, a lot of it is down to a self-inflicted wound for Newcastle once again. So Brooke Nunn putting the Mariners ahead in the 8th minute. Newcastle equalising through Josie Allen, who's now trying to find the pass through to Collins. She equalised in the 30th, and then 3 minutes later, Bianca Galich profiting from a mistake from the Newcastle goalkeeper. And Galich may yet get another chance. Pennick couldn't control a ball at an awkward height. None. An important intervention. That was critical from Bauman. And that is the kind of moment made for an international. And it was the Swiss international coming through and preventing the Mariners doubling their lead. Zaniak. Distribution out to Bauman. Copus Brown. This could land in front of Allen. It does, Josie Allen. And just couldn't get the control on the volley. Ambitious attempt. They're holding their own, though. More than holding their own, this teenage brigade up top of Newcastle. Breyer on the left, Allen on the right, Collins in the middle. Martin. It was a nicely weighted pass, but Tiana Fuller scored offside. He's been somewhat of a peripheral figure in the last few minutes or so. Tiana Fuller, start of the game, created a lot of opportunities inside the opening 15. Hoban. Ball which found its way right through the heart of the Mariners back line, but no one in a Jets shirt to chase. Davis came off the back of the leg of Hoban as she looked to turn. Presented a half opportunity for the Mariners. Martin. Taylor Ray. Pennock has it. Taken off her toes by Davis. And then the forward delivery just a little too heavy for Collins, who's doing the chasing again. So is there a final chance before half-time? The first F3W of the season, this one, and it is crucial for both sides. The Mariners could go up to third. Here is a free kick. Is there a yellow card? There is, eventually, for Brooke Nunn. Scored the opening goal. Now get to second yellow of the season. Still a fair way away from the 5 required for a suspension. Now, as you can see, the tug back. Bauman and Dundas. Allen has Martin backtracking. Josie Allen coming in on that left boot. Hoban, that is well done. Tiana Fuller, that is excellent work from the 16-year-old. Got herself in a great position and forced the foul out of Hoban. And that may well just get the Mariners to half-time with the advantage. And yellow card is shown here for Hoban. It was a long way inside the Mariners' defensive half. Just get the feeling Newcastle have been a little more subdued since conceding that second goal. Almost seemed to knock the stuffing out of them after doing so well to equalise, and then that mistake at the back. But is there a final chance here? This is a good drive forward from Copus Brown. She's onside, but pass didn't get through to her on the first attempt. Hoban uses Davis and tried to play the 1-2. Left it a little short. Allen and Wilson. And that could probably do us for the first half now as Newcastle drop it back to Chico. And it is half-time at Industry Group Stadium. A really entertaining first 45 minutes in the first F3 derby of the season. Brooke Nunn scored the opener for the Mariners. Then Josie Allen equalised for the Newcastle Jets. And then 3 minutes after that, a disaster at the back for the Jets. Not for the first time this season, as Krasaniak put it on a plate for Galich to make it 2-1 for the Central Coast Mariners. Pennock and Fuller have been great up front, but Newcastle will feel extremely frustrated. Half-time at Industry Group Stadium. Central Coast Mariners 2, Newcastle Jets 1. And let's have a look at the first half highlights. And, well, there were so many to pick in the first half. And this was a decent start from the Jets keeper in Krasaniak. Made a good save to deny Pennock, but straight into the path of the on-rushing Brooke Nunn, who scored the second of the season. The twice WSL winner with Arsenal back in 2011 and 2012. And then Newcastle, chance after chance they created. Sophie Hoban showing great endeavour to keep it alive. And then Josie Allen, who'd been so good with her left throughout the first half, hit this one with her right and got it to dip over the head of Sarah Langman. And that made it 1-1. And you felt Newcastle had the momentum heading in towards half-time, and maybe they could even pinch the lead. And then this moment from Danielle Krasaniak, the Canadian goalkeeper, brought in from overseas, and it has been a wretched season for her. And another moment to forget here. Dwelling on possession, Fuller put the pressure on. Galich finished it off. And the Mariners leading 2-1 at the break. The Melbourne Derby is always a match to look forward to on the A-League's calendar, and tonight's derby at Control Cyber Pitch has a delayed kick-off moving from 5 to 6 p.m. It's a match-up to relish, though let's take a preview of what to expect.
It's the headliner, a top-of-the-table clash between Melbourne City and Melbourne Victory in the Ninja A-League. Teresa, Melbourne City coming off that 1-0 win against the Wanderers, and what was quite impressive was their defence. It was Taylor Otto and Rebecca Stott so strong at the back. What makes that partnership click?
Look, they're both such great and experienced players, and they're ball-playing centre-back, so they're happy to go for a wander forward and be involved in the build-up play of the team. So when one goes, the other knows to stay and keep things safe and organised at the back. So their partnership has just gone from strength to strength this season.
Tactically, this is going to be an interesting one because both sides dominate possession and the play. So who do you think is going to kind of be driving the tempo here? Yeah,
it's going to be really interesting, and games like this tend to be won in the middle of the park where you've got your ball players and they battle it out. So I think that'll be the key in this game, whichever midfield can get a stronger hold on the game, I think that'll be the team that wins the game.
One player that we cannot take our eyes off at the moment is Alana Janchevsky. What a free kick she scored in that last game. Probably one of the best we've seen, I would say, in Ninja A-League history. What have you kind of made of her development into this side since joining?
Well, there's been talk about it being the goal of the season. So, yeah, really amazing stuff. You can see the passion she has when she pulls on that victory jersey. You know, she's playing for the club she's followed since the beginning, and she's wanting to make the most of it in every match. So she's brought plenty of physicality to the team as well as, you know, being a technician, but she's been, you know, her set piece ability has been so invaluable, and we saw that exactly what she can do against Sydney FC.
The most impressive thing about Melbourne Victory this season is that, yeah, they have the second best attack, but they've also kept the most number of clean sheets as well. How difficult is it to balance the two? Because it seems like Victory are doing it seamlessly.
Yeah, look, they've really grown into this season, I think. They have a team full of stars on paper who are now really starting to find their best form. So whether it be in terms of scoring goals or playing well in possession and creativity, and you mentioned, you know, defending too. So it's been so well organised under the guidance of Kayla Morrison. So between the six, though, we can't forget Courtney Newbon. She's been outstanding as well. So all those elements are what add to a team's confidence and balance. So that's helped them build form to where they are now.
Well, it's 1v2. You don't want to miss it. In the Ninja A-League, Melbourne City taking on Melbourne Victory. It's live, as always, on Paramount Plus or 10play.
Well, it promises to be an enticing contest. Lots of talent on the pitch, including Victory's Alana Janchevsky, as discussed by the Dub Zone team this week.
Will be Janchevsky with the direct shot. What a cracking goal! Alana Janchevsky. She loves playing Sydney FC, and she's fired up after putting a rocket into the corner. Well, it can barely draw a smile out of the gaffer, but everyone else inside Amy Park is dazzled by that. Alana Janchevsky with one of the goals of the season from a free kick.
And that Janchevsky goal, obviously, putting Melbourne Victory up 1-0 over Sydney FC. That one finished 2-0 at the end of the game. So lots to answer for in Sydney FC, but can we please just concentrate on this amazing free kick? And I know that you're going to tell me, if you watched her in NPL, you would have known this was in her locker.
Yeah, we know that. We've seen it this season as well, and it was unsavable. An incredible free kick. You called it so well, Teo, and you could watch that over and over again, but I just felt, you know, Victory did dominate the match from start to finish.
Not bad for a player who's having to fill in at left back as well. Alana Janchevsky, if she could choose, she'd be playing as a number 10 for Melbourne Victory every week, and here she is as a left back. Some of the camera angles on this were just absolutely delicious. Is that goal of the year, though? Can you win goal of the year from a direct free kick?
I don't think you can.
I think you can. I think that's a contender.
Look, it's up there with absolutely beautiful. Maybe it needs a separate category, like, you know, dead ball goal of the year, but
I think when you're that far out on your left foot and you ping it into the top corner and there was no chance to save it.
The power she got on that.
Yeah, the power was absolutely unbelievable.
Janchevsky scored the match-winning goal in both home and away against Sydney FC this season. And in her time at Perth, she got COVID, had a long COVID, really struggled to come back from it. This is someone who was one of our brighter prospects in the Australia under-17 national team, but she never really had the form to get picked for the under-20s. She's 21 now, playing amazing football in the Ninja A-League. So is she back on track for the trajectory that we might have been hoping for when she was a younger teenager?
Totally. This is her season of redemption, really, and she's at her girlhood club, the club she's supported from the beginning, and you can see the passion she has putting on that jersey every week, and it's really paid off for victory this season.
Welcome back to the field, goal, Central, Robert Mariners.
Welcome back to Gosford. It's the 6th derby of the F3 kind in the Ninja A-League, and it has been an entertaining one thus far. Brooke Nunn putting the Mariners ahead after 8 minutes. Josie Allen equalising for the Jets at the half-hour mark before Bianca Galich put the Mariners back in front 2-1. Now, it looks as though we've got a change here. Greta Krajula coming into the match. We're just getting confirmed who the player has been replaced. We're also potentially hearing that there may be another change in the offing. Well, Newcastle created a lot of chances in the first half. Josie Allen was the player that finished off to equalise for them. Her 3rd goal of the season after debuting back in November 2022, her 3rd season in the competition. And they're going to have to find more goals in the second half. Back underway. The Mariners looking for back-to-back wins for the first time this season. Newcastle, they haven't won since December 14. They had to come from behind that day. They're going to have to do so again here on the coast. And maybe a strike straight away. Krzyzaniak has stopped it from crossing the line. There was a little fumble. There were hearts in mouths for Newcastle Jets fans again here. Look at this. She's done well. And you can see the pitch has been rewarded at half-time. So the ball just a little slow to start as that excess water dries up. But it will make the ball movement nice and crisp in this second half. Josie Allen, excellent in the first, continuing it in the second. Davis picks up the scraps for the Jets. And that pass from Claire Adams, who's on the field for Newcastle. Just not quite on the same wavelength. So just confirming, Claire Adams is on for Emma Dundas. And for the Mariners is Krajula on for Seaman. Hoban inside the box for Newcastle. And Nash just tripped on the ball, and it allows Newcastle a corner. Remembering Hoban is on the yellow card, so the Mariners player in the book is Brooke Nunn. So those two players just to be watchful in this second half. Corner taken short. Breyer. It's a very deep delivery, which Wilson has to scamper after. Gets the cross in. Billigan's clearance. Fuller missed it initially in the air. Yeah, so just confirmation, Jess Seaman, who was making her first start of the season, signed as an injury replacement for Ash Irwin. And that was confirmed last week. She came off the bench late on against Wellington, so unsurprising that she wouldn't be able to see out the full match. And Claire Adams there coming on for Emma Dundas in midfield. Nunn peeling wide, using the overlap of Martin Krzyzaniak. Well, she pushes it into the path of the 16-year-old Fuller, who's got goals in back-to-back matches for the second time this season. What a campaign she is having. 4 goals for Fuller, 3 for the Mariners today, and they're out by 2 goals now. And it was just beautiful build-up, using that extra space down the left. The Jets goalkeeper couldn't claim the cross. And while it was really making her stretch for it, it pushed it into the path of Fuller, who didn't even celebrate. It was that easy for the 16-year-old Fuller. And what a debut season in the Ninja A-League for Tiana Fuller. 4 goals already, and this just her 10th appearance. And now it's a mountain to climb for Newcastle. Conceding goals. As been a problem again for Newcastle. So coming into this one, averaging more than 2 goals a game conceded. They've conceded more than that today, 3. But, as those will say, you don't need a long memory to think back to the times that Newcastle fought back this season. They were down 3-1 against Adelaide, and they came back to equalise, and that was literally in the final minutes. Those 2 goals were scored, so there's belief they can create chances, and they certainly will do exactly that. Collins just thwarted there. So you can see that structural change for the Mariners, with Taylor Ray dropping back from midfield into the back line, and Krajula coming into the midfield after Seaman played at centre back alongside Nash in the first half. They haven't had much luck in the injury department with their centre-backs, with Taryn King due back hopefully soon from that ACL suffered in January last year, but Ash Irwin out for the season. Hoban taking on Krajula, good delivery, and it was expertly done there. Sarah Rowe just ran Breyer in circles away from the ball, and it allowed an easy grab for Sarah Langman. You almost just think today, there's the work from Rowe, just ran Breyer away from the ball. Here's that space again. Newcastle, of course, playing the back 3. Here is Pennock. And could she get her feet right? Eventually she could. And there's the 4th for the Mariners. Jade Pennock with goal number 3 for the campaign. The English import. She has been dynamic and dangerous today, and now she gets a goal on the score sheet, and the Mariners are streaking clear now. On that occasion, the crossbar did not help out Newcastle. It just pushed the ball back into the path of Pennock. Well, it was initially a mountain to climb. Now it's probably Everest for the Newcastle Jets, behind by 3, but they are still going to go after it. Josie Allen with the cross. Spills out towards Claire Adams. Speaking of that fight back against Adelaide, she was the player that scored that late equaliser. You just wonder whether they are going to have to tighten things up at the back, because it seems like every time the Mariners are able to break free on the counter-attack, they are able to score. Has got ugly once for the Jets this season against Brisbane, that 6-1 defeat at home. Mariners fans flocking in here to Industry Group Stadium. They'll be loving what they're seeing at the moment. This match part of a double header with the A-League Men's F3 Derby. Isn't it fantastic? We've got derbies in both competitions now after the Mariners returned to the competition last year. Really is such a big day. This one in both Newcastle and Gosford. And the Mariners win this one, and then they will retain the guardrail. They claimed it last year on aggregate, but this year you have to win it outright, so the Jets would have to win both of the matches. So the Mariners win this one, and they will keep the guardrail for another year. The men playing for a block of concrete out of the F3. It's been the Mariners that have had a stranglehold over that, I believe, since its inception. Martin rolling it up the line for Fuller. So 4 different goal scorers for the Mariners: Fuller, Nunn, Pennock and Galich. Nunn scoring the first, Pennock the most recent, but Bauman has earned it back for the Jets. Hoban tried to measure that pass up the line towards Collins. Sarah Rowe been excellent, hasn't she, since joining the Mariners after finishing her AFLW commitments last season with Collingwood. Hoban. Nunn cuts back inboard. Look at the space here ahead of Brooke. Nunn uses Pennock. Is it 5 for the Mariners? Well cut off by Krasaniak. The thumbs up for the service. The 2 English imports combining well there for the Mariners. They inflict some more pain on the visitors here from this set piece. Brajula trying to make a nuisance of herself. The ball goes to the back post and it is in to the side netting from Galich. No surprises here. Newcastle have pushed button in case of emergency here because Gooch came off at halftime last week with a bit of back tightness. And they put her out there with just over half an hour to go here. They need her attacking thrust if they want to try and pull anything out of this trip to Gosford. And Breyer, she was really good in the first half, has been more of a peripheral figure in the second. And was there anything more? You heard the cries from the Jets bench. It's just Collins is asking the question whether there was more than shoulder-to-shoulder contact here from Taylor Ray. Beck Mackey disagrees. Hoban and Copus Brown. What impact can Lara Gooch have on this match? She's earn her side a corner kick inside the last half hour of regulation time. Still plenty of time for Newcastle, 3 goals behind it. You know the chances they've created. That was that penalty appeal from Alexis Collins. As India Breyer sits down on the bench, wondering how she didn't score in that first half. Bauman's corner. Dangerous delivery off the head of Krajula. Adams didn't get it through on the first attempt. And out comes Langman. And you just wonder, both goalkeepers, Langman has been absolutely outstanding. The amount of point-blank saves she's made, especially in that first half. And you compare that to the issues Newcastle have had, especially Krasaniak, and just goes to show you how important goalkeeping is, how many points it can be worth in the wash-up at the back end of a season. This is a good run down the right, combining with a lovely delivery. Gooch one-on-one with Ray. And for a player that doesn't regularly play centre-back, Taylor Ray showing all her defensive qualities here. Just to reduce the danger of that kind of chance for Gooch. Mariners with numbers forward. It is a 4-on-2. Pennick's already got one. Spilled through Krasaniak. And the goalkeeper almost having another nightmare moment. Well, it's almost unbelievable. The amount of spills from the Jets goalkeeper today. Meanwhile, Langman has been without a blemish at the other. So Pennick with her 7th shot of the match, almost bursting through Krasaniak and into the back of the net. Well, it did burst through. It just didn't go to the back of the net. Brooke Nunn now. Getting on the outside, and Chico comes through. Closes in on the English import, who scored way back in the 8th minute. There's been a lot that's happened since then. Pennick. And Rowe. And Chico comes through. Good tackle from the Jets centre back. Marcus Brown. And Gooch, look at the acceleration from Lara Gooch. The ball seemed to have rushed away from her. Now takes on Martin. And it was excellently blocked off initially. Almost provided Gooch a little half sniff there. Davis. Well controlled by Cobus Brown initially. And Gooch wasn't quite on the same page. Collins just straying offside. Chico. And then goes in here quite heavily on Martin, allowed to go by the referee. Rowe is a good avenue for Langman to use here. Newcastle with the numbers back though. Krasaniak getting some distance there. This will be a Mariners throw. It was a tired moment there from their captain, Cass Davis. And there's Chico going in on Martin. That was allowed to go. The frustration from the Mariners bench on that occasion, wanting the whistle. Martin opts against using none and plays it straight into the hands of Newcastle and Hoban. Nice scrapping from Cobus Brown on the floor. But Rowe has it back. The hands go up from Cobus Brown, wanting the foul. Not forthcoming. And now Nunn driving in. There at Claire Adams. Allows the space for Martin to deliver the cross. Just a little too high for Pennock, who's hunting her first brace in the Ninja A-League. Josie Allen skips away from Rowe. Oh, look at this. Footwork from Josie Allen, driving in at goal. Will it be a corner? No, it won't be, but have a look at this. Snapping ankles here. Josie Allen on Quilligan. Just left her for dead. Sped past Krajula. And she's only 18. I don't think it's just Jets fans excited about this kind of talent. So Tiana Fuller, after scoring in back-to-back matches for the second time this season, she's replaced by Peter Trimmis. She's part of the young Matildas side at the Under-20 World Cup last year in Colombia. And Annalise Rasmussen, who was the only change from the winning side last week. She dropped out in that reshuffle. Taylor Ray moved into midfield and Seaman came in at centre-back, but Rasmussen comes on now to try and add her name to the score sheet. She's got 3 for the campaign there. Leading goal scorer coming into this one. Fuller now has taken that mantle with her 4th of the season. Hoban for Newcastle. Good driving run. And in the meantime for the Jets, Milan Hammond has come on up top as well. Almost able to sneak an opportunity there from the deflection. Hammond yet to score in her Ninja A-League career. Peter Trimmis, you look at the talent the Mariners have got on their bench. Rasmussen, Trimmis, both been key players for Emma Husband over the last season and a half. Rasmussen finding Galich on that occasion, and it's Trimmis putting the pressure on Krasaniak. Hoban this time, gliding upfield, shut down by Quilligan. And the pressure from Hoban earns Newcastle back possession here. Adams with the low socks, appeals for handball. And you saw Beck Mackey there saying arms were by the side of Brooke Nunn. So that was why there was no free kick paid. What's Josie Allen got in store for us here? Well, Sarah Rowe has produced a defensive masterclass on the 18-year-old there. And now she's going the other way. To link with Trimmers. And that's Bauman. So a couple of stalwarts with some really important interventions for their side. First, Sarah Rowe for the Mariners. And then the experience of Lorena Bauman. What about Rowe's resume? Gaelic football, AFLW, she's played with Collingwood since 2018 in that competition. Did play for Melbourne Victory in the 23-24 season. And has come across to the Mariners after finishing her AFLW commitments. Just 3 appearances for Victory last year. Ryan Campbell wants his team to continue pushing here. They get one, who knows what could happen. Adams v Ray. She's been excellent in her one-on-one defending, Taylor Ray. Wilson. Every is cut out. Trimmers has it taken off her by her opposite, and Bauman just drives a shot at goal. And it was never going to trouble Sarah Langman. Even the Jets fans just lacking a bit of energy late on here. Kozaniak come a long way. Chico comes through, looked to be a tug there, a clear tug on Brooke Nunn. One of the most simple decisions for Beck Mackey this afternoon, right in front of her. And this is about the time we start diving into the live ladder and the ramifications at the moment. And right now, the Mariners on the live ladder, sitting in 4th position with the 3 points. That's off the back of Adelaide United. Well, wasn't that miraculous? Talk about late drama. Chelsea Dorber scoring the match winner last night to put Adelaide into 3rd. There's a problem here for Bauman, but she's back to her feet. So Mariners consolidating a spot in the 6, and most importantly, it makes life even more difficult for the Jets. It almost puts them in a position where they're going to need a near perfect run home if they want to push for finals, because that gap is getting ever so larger. Kozaniak will claim that cross from Nunn, just a little too close as she looked to find Trimmers. So as it stands currently, Newcastle would be 10 points adrift of the top 6. That could get even more severe if Brisbane Roar get a point or 3 against Wellington tomorrow. It could balloon out as far as 11 points. Gooch versus Nunn. Steps his pass in behind, and there's a reason why the Mariners have the best defence in this competition. While Newcastle had so many good chances in the first half, Sarah Langman a big reason why they weren't able to find a way through. And Chico's got a problem here. Oh, is it red? Well, that will be debated. Was she the last player? That is the big question. But it's not going to be changed now. Chico has been sent off for pulling back Rasmussen. It was a long way from goal. A long, long way from goal. Is that red card worthy? I'll let you decide at home. It was certainly cynical. It was at least a yellow, but from that kind of position. And Chico now suspended for next week, so they potentially get Pryor back, but they lose Chico, Newcastle, for that clash against Melbourne City. So the decision clearly for the last player challenge, but literally you have to be one-on-one with the goalkeeper in that kind of situation. And I don't know if that was going to be the case. Anyway, the free kick from Taylor Ray comes in. And Newcastle are going to have to deal with being a player down for another occasion this season. And that is 4 all told. 5, I should say, as Martin's swinging this one towards the back post. So Krasaniak sent off twice. Tash Pryor's been sent off once. Sheridan Gallagher's been sent off last week, and now Claudia Chico sent off. So it's been one of those seasons for the Jets. And it looks as though Cass Davis has slotted in to the back line now. Sam Kelly, 4th official, just making it known here that Josie Allen is the latest player withdrawn for Newcastle. Orlando comes on, the 19-year-old defensive player, so a bit of sandbagging late on here for the Jets. They want to restrict the damage, it would seem. And it would probably be likely here they're going to a traditional back 4, so Davis and Wilson as the 2 centre-backs, and Orlando and Bauman as the full-backs. Wait and see how that plays out. They don't want any further damage now that they're down a player. And the Mariners trying to inflict some further punishment. Goal difference would be so important for them, because they're only +3 coming into this match. So they're currently +6, and we know Brisbane Roar, they're +15. So when it comes to the back end of the season and jostling for spots in the 6, we know how important it is to finish in the top 2. Mariners are in that conversation. Well, Hammond has just lost sight of the ball, and well, there certainly was a little tug of the shoulder. Whether it was enough for a free kick, That will be debated, but you saw the frustration from Hammond. Well, Orlando had stepped in as Ryan Campbell had said, just lost sight of the ball. And the Mariners now able to continue to retain possession. And they just seem to have gone into their shell a little bit here, the Mariners. And Copus Brown peeling wide. Early delivery, Hoban strike. Hammond! Oh, and that is another incredible save from Sarah Langman. How many times today has she saved the Central Coast Mariners? 3-goal difference on the scoreboard, but you just wonder. The goalkeepers today have played a massive part in their side's fortunes. It's almost the story of this match. And here's another moment from Langman. Hammond chasing a first goal in the A-League Women's. Langman makes herself big. Newcastle frustrated again. So Puxty comes on, the former Jet, for the Mariners. Rasmussen's header away. So Galich comes off. You just wonder, maybe just putting her in cotton wool with that hamstring with some strapping on it today. The Croatian international. Puff out of the cheeks. It's been a tough day's work for Galich, but a rewarding one it would seem for the Mariners. In the final analysis of this match, it's going to be intriguing how both coaches reflect on this result. No doubt the Mariners clinical in front of goal, but you just have to wonder, both number ones have played their part in how their side will end up at the finishing post today. And for Newcastle, frustrating. For the Mariners, well, it's so rewarding once again, the performance of Sarah Langman, who's going to have a goal kick here. Won't get a clean sheet this afternoon, but has 5 for the season. Langman, and you can hear Em Husband just wants her side just to drop in a little. Haven't conceded multiple goals in a match since December 22 against Western United. Meanwhile, for Newcastle, no clean sheets since December as well, against Canberra in that 0-0 draw. Martin. And Nunn. Going right until the last here, Brooke Nunn. Good delivery. And Trimmis just couldn't get the header on target. Three goals for Trimmis last season. Yet to get on the score sheet this year. spotting the run of Trimis, who's tracking it down now. Davis. And Gooch. Again smothered in there by Annabelle Martin. To allow the Mariners here an opportunity to get 5 goals.
Girls, get up!
Rasmussen. And now Puxty. Debuted in the A-League Women's for Newcastle back in November 2022. Leah Puxty. She'll be happy she's made the trip back to the club she supported as a kid. Rasmussen slipping it behind for Brooke Nunn, who rounds Krasaniak. And the flag comes up to deny Nunn her first career brace in the A-League Women's. Well, you can understand why the Mariners fans are frustrated, because I tell you what, it is very, very tight. And maybe you could argue she was onside. Hoban trying to push forward again for Newcastle. Gee, she's tried a hard out today. Sophie Hoban. So just having a look at biggest results for the Mariners since they've returned to the A-League Women's. 4-1 last year against Canberra. Are they about to hit 5? For the first time since they've returned to the competition. And just got it caught up. Brooke Nunn couldn't make it happen. Their biggest win was back in December 2008 and November 2009. They beat Adelaide 6-0 on a couple of occasions. And that was actually the last time they scored. More than 4 in a match. November 2009 against Adelaide. They beat Newcastle 5-1 back in October 2009, so they would equal that result if they can grab themselves a 5th. Puxty, the head up to Martin. Doesn't get any easier for Newcastle, taking on Melbourne City. Leading the competition coming into this round, City. For the Mariners, they face Canberra United away from home next Saturday. This delivery is a good one up towards Gooch, but just wasn't quite deep enough to get any connection on the header. And the Mariners now just a couple of minutes away now from back-to-back wins for the first time this season. Would you believe it would actually be their first win over Newcastle in Gosford in 15 years. November 2009, the last time they beat the Jets in Gosford in the A-League Women's, because they lost that opening match last year. Rasmussen will be pulled back for offside. One looked a little more clear-cut. No complaints that time from the Mariners. So Newcastle at home against City next Saturday, before a trip away against Western Sydney. Mariners, Canberra, and then Melbourne Victory the next couple of weeks. Crucial matches against teams around them on the table. None. Rasmussen squeezes it through. Trimmers for 5. Exemplary from the Central Coast Mariners. 5 goals in an A-League Women's clash for the first time since 2009. And they're going to party like it's 2009 tonight. The Mariners, what a dominant display in the derby. They have destroyed the Jets. So Peter Trimmers is first of the season. The young Matilda, who went to the World Cup last year, the Under-20 World Cup in Colombia, back in the A-League Women's this season. It has been a horror afternoon defensively for Newcastle. And the Mariners hitting 5 for the first time since 2009. And there's going to be a little bit more history. They've beaten the Jets in Gosford now for the first time since 2009. But more importantly this season, back-to-back wins for the Central Coast Mariners for the first time. And they go 4th on the A-League Women's ladder. And that is a huge boost to their goal difference. +3 to +7 for the most miserly defence. Well, they have reined in the goals this afternoon in the sun in Gosford. A dark day for Newcastle in the derby. Full time at Industry Group Stadium. Mariners 5, Newcastle Jets 1. So 5 different goal scorers for the Mariners. Nunn, Galich, Fuller, Pennock, Trimmers. Some veterans, some youngsters. A great mix today for the Mariners. And back-to-back wins for the first time this season. As I mentioned, back-to-back derby wins.